Hey folks, welcome to Economic Observations. My name is Chris. Today is the 22nd of September, and thank you so much for watching. Let's get started. In my last video, I talked about Evergrande's possible defaulting on their $300 billion of debt. They have $85 billion in interest payments due today, or Thursday, I should say, but it is already Thursday in China. So that debt is due today. And it's not only loans to banks, but it's also to contractors and suppliers and many of these asset management companies all around the world that have bought some of these junk bonds. So we talked about that. But I'm going to try and give you a little perspective of something that is going on in our own country that would have much more catastrophic effects than Evergrande's failure to pay their debt responsibilities, right? Their promissory notes we promise to pay you X amount in return for borrowing money. And it is the United States of America. We are in a tug of war, in a showdown of opinions within our own Congress as to whether we're going to pay the interest on funds that were borrowed in prior administrations, right? So they already borrowed the money and now they have interest payments to pay. They have promissory notes to people who are receiving Social Security, people in the military. Section 8 housing comes from the federal government, SNAP benefits. Cities and towns get funded through the federal government. If we don't raise our debt ceiling and this baby crap continues in Congress, it is going to have catastrophic effects all around the world. And we talked about Evergrande and the ripple effects that $300 billion can have. Imagine what the trillions of dollars that the United States spent and the debt that we have and not paying our interest back. Now, these people in Congress, and when I say Congress, it's both the House and the Senate, they are acting worse than children. It is time to vote them out, both sides. It is unbelievable. There should be rules and norms within our own government that can play nice together. I understand that, one side is leaving it all on the backs of the other side, saying, well, we're not going to do anything. We're going to stand in their way, and we're not going to pay for the debt that we created. Yep, the debt that we created, no, it's all your responsibility now. The tax cuts we gave to corporations, the money we didn't take in, the money we spent, the COVID stuff, we're not going to pay for it now. It's all on you. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And then you have the other side saying, well, we want to get our $3.5 trillion bill passed and our other infrastructure bill passed. And it's a disaster. It's a real disaster. And there has to be some common ground. And that is the American people. The American people are the ones that are going to get hit the hardest. And the ripple effects, holy moly, catastrophic. Catastrophic. And when people warn of something big happening, this could be the catalyst. Time is running out. Janet Yellen told them in August, extraordinary measures. And what happens when they take extraordinary measures? They start cutting back on things they don't need. They start selling their own assets. The money's running out. We only have about 10 days, if that, left. It's almost too late to have budget reconciliation to go through. That takes about 3 weeks. The House passed the bill yesterday, and the Senate doesn't have enough votes. And what happens to them looking out for our best interest? Does the infrastructure bill really have to go through today? Does the 3.5 trillion over 10 years need to go out now? You have to be responsible for the debt that you helped create. They voted and passed these bills. The money was spent. And now you have to be responsible for paying for that debt. We're having a retirement crisis across the United States. 1/3 of Americans don't have any retirement savings, and half of those that do don't have enough. These jobs, these small businesses that many people work for, they don't offer 401ks. People don't even know what a 401k is. And if they do have a 401k, they're not even aware of the expensive fees that they pay to those investment advisors. Those investment advisors and mutual funds, they're not your fiduciary. They're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their own self-preservation. They're going to sell you the fund that pays the highest commission. They don't care about you. What is a broker? A broker is a glorified name for a salesperson, investment advisor. They're salesmen. They care about their own commissions. They're not your fiduciary, and they're not looking after you. Check your retirement funds and see how much payment you're paying in fees, whether it's through an insurance company or an asset management company. It is astronomical. But we're having a retirement crisis, and it may come real soon. It may come a lot sooner than we think if Social Security payments stop going out in October. Do you know anyone who's relying on their Social Security check? And should they not get it, what would happen to them? Where would they live? How would they buy food? America is in deep, deep trouble right now, as is many other countries around the world. Jerome Powell says that tapering could begin as soon as November, and he hopes to end the tapering in mid-2022. But interest rates are going to stay near zero. He can't start to taper. He starts to taper and the stock market will become so volatile, much more than we saw earlier in the week. It's a house of cards. The debt has gotten out of control. We need to start paying that debt back. People need to stop taking on personal debt. They need to live within their means. I was listening to the radio the other day, and it said that in Massachusetts, you need to earn $42 an hour to be able to live well. Not even well, but to be able to live. $42 an hour. That's a lot of money. And I'll tell you what, restaurants aren't paying their wait staff $42 an hour. And Dollar Tree is not paying their employees $42 an hour. And they're not even offering them 401ks. You know, in the 1990s, things were booming. Pension funds, where companies used to look after your retirement and invest your money and make sure you would have enough to live on. They handed it off to the individual. They said, no, there's a tax loophole now that we can stop offering pensions, and we can start having individuals start investing their own money. But people don't know how to invest their own money. They're sweet-talked by these brokers and investment advisors to take a fund riddled with fees. And many people don't realize that they're investing in the stock market and that money is not guaranteed. That they can have $1 million in their pension one day and the next week or the next day it can go down to $500,000. Just like that, in a second. I don't know. I'm worried about the debt ceiling. I'm worried about these children that were voted in. I'm worried about these Congress people in power for too long. They're power hungry. And they think that they're looking out for their base, but they're not. Many of their base is relying on those Social Security checks. Many are military people that are relying on their checks for survival. And they're playing chicken with the American people. I don't know how we're going to get out of it. It's really a quagmire we are in. It is ugly. And it's scary as all heck. All right. Well, if you thought Evergrande was big, what if the United States of America went into default? All right. God bless America, folks. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you. Be kind. Call someone. Tell them you love them. Hit subscribe or like this video. I would really appreciate that. And this video was sponsored by the Tanzania School Foundation, a nonprofit near and dear to my heart. And there are links in the description below. And if you really appreciate fine original art, check out our website. We have some really cool pieces. All right. As always, have a great day.